Hi, this is Dave with a demonstration of the Outcome Ingenuity Trajectory tool. I'm going to go ahead and launch the tool. For those of you that don't know, this tool is for the risk management space. Specifically, it's for modeling what happens when an error is made and what defenses a business might implement to keep that error from producing what's termed adverse outcomes, or essentially damages to people and property. I'm going to start by creating a new document for the tool. We'll put it in the drafts directory for now, and I'll just call it draft 1. And I'm going to skip right ahead to the Trajectory tab, since that's our topic for today, and start making up some sample data to model. I'll go ahead and create a new trajectory. The tool can look at multiple trajectories at the same time. And I'm going to make this trajectory for modeling what might happen if a cell phone gets loose in an MRI unit. So I'll just call it cell phone damages MRI, and my description is what happens when a cell phone gets exposed to the magnetic field of an MRI unit. Okay, that's just some general description to get us going. If you'll notice in the center here, there is a trajectory diagram, and what we'll be doing is creating various objects and descriptions that help flesh out that diagram. We want to start with the error that occurs, and the errors starts with this bubble in the top left, and when I select the error, a bunch of properties come up for that, and I can just fill that out. Essentially, this is a form filling program that collects a bunch of information and organizes it into a report for further analysis. Let's say the error was the cell phone brought into the MRI room. And I'm going to go light on the description here, since the title is fairly descriptive in and of itself. I have a section for annotations here. You'll notice annotations appear in multiple areas of this tool, so you can attach tags, notes, and documents to almost any object anywhere in the tool. I'll just run through a quick demo of that right now. So let's say we wanted to annotate this with a tag we'll call medical equipment. Maybe that's a term our company uses frequently. And I'll just go ahead and add a note to this annotation, and I'll say the technician did not request patient to remove electronic devices. Give me a little more idea of what was going on, and perhaps we even attach some kind of document as an annotation. I don't have a document that really supports this description, but I'll just pick a random file that I've got lying around on my file system. Maybe it's a description of what can happen to damage an MRI unit when an electronic device is brought in. I'll just go ahead and attach that, and all of those annotations are going to live with this node in my drawing. I'm going to skip on down to the effect of the damages, often what we call the outcome. In this case, I will say the MRI unit was damaged, and description, let's say it was completely damaged. I'll just say it was inoperational. Alright, I could further annotate that. There's really, in this case, no risk to life or injury loss here. We're talking about a damage to some equipment. But the loss of property or use of that property is a high economic loss, since those machines are rather expensive, so I can just fill out that additional information here and it will be propagated into my report. Now I can ask myself procedurally, what should have been done to prevent this from happening, and I can model that. I'm going to show a little bit of interaction with our library here. Our library, we can build up various components and reuse them in different trajectory descriptions. The library is almost empty at this point in time since I'm starting a new document. But let's go ahead and put this in a medical section, and I'm going to start building up some defenses that I may reuse later, or I may just use in this document. Actually, I'm going to put this in my custom library. Let's do that. Let's make it reusable to me right away. I'll select the Defenses tab, and I'm going to go ahead and add a defense. Let's call this one Signs in the MRI lab. And we'll say that there are reminder signs not to bring electronics into the lab. We could further categorize this in risk management terms, saying this is a barrier to damaging the unit, and this would be a procedural barrier where a warning sign is placed to remind everyone of the procedures, and we could assign a likely percentage that this would succeed or fail. We'd probably want to pull this number from some sort of scientific data. For now, I'm just going to make up a number that it's got a 50-50 chance of helping us protect our MRI machine. And now this defense is available in my library for reuse, and I can immediately move it into my document, and it becomes my first defense. As we all know, multiple defenses make a procedure more safe, so I'm going to go ahead and model another defense. Let's say we make a station of cubby holes outside the lab where the lab technicians can store electronic equipment, so they don't have to bring it into the lab. I'll just say cubbyhole storage, and I'm going to skip the description and other items here just to move this demo along more quickly. And again, I will kick the cubbyhole storage defense from my library into immediate use in my document, and we can see how the model draws out. I now have 2 lines of defense in protecting my MRI unit against damage from cell phones. I could add precursors and mitigators to further describe what's going on with this trajectory. I'm going to leave that off this discussion. We just want to keep it fairly simple here. And let's go ahead and create a second trajectory. I'll do that. And just very quickly demo some of the reuse. Let's say bringing in a cell phone into an MRI unit could possibly hurt the patient as well as the MRI unit, right? So in this case, I'll say cell phone injures patient. I'll leave the description off again to speed things along. And just to start showing some of the reuse here, I can actually reuse the sign and the cubbyhole defenses because this is a different trajectory which shares some of its defenses with a previous trajectory. So that saves me a lot of typing and allows me to do some interesting statistical modeling once this document is uploaded to the server. Okay, for now I'm going to conclude this demo. You have a rough idea of what can be modeled with the Trajectories tool, how some items in the library can be reused, and we will call that a demo for the day.